Emiliana Arango vs IGA Swiatek prediction, odds for US Open first round. Betting odds pick and prediction for the Emiliana Arango vs IGA Swiatek match in the first round of the US Open. Fresh off of a victory at Wimbledon, World No. 2 IGA Swiatek heads into the US Open as the favorite to win, plus 225, over Aryna Sabalenka, plus 285, and Coco Gauff, plus 700. In the first round, Swiatek will face Emiliana Arango, who is playing in the first US Open of her career. The 24-year-old made the second round of the French Open and lost in the first round of Wimbledon earlier this year. Swiatek, on the other hand, is putting together quite the season, reaching the semi-finals of each Grand Slam event to date. Can she do it again in New York? Here's a look at the odds, each player's history at the US Open and my prediction for this first-round match. Emiliana Arango vs IGA Swiatek odds. Moneyline. Emiliana Arango, plus 2,000. IGA Swiatek, minus 5,000. Total. 16.5, over plus 110 / under minus 150. Emiliana Arango vs IGA Swiatek how to watch. Date, Tuesday, August 26th. Time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. How to watch, TV ESPN/ESPN+. Emiliana Arango US Open history. This is the first appearance for Arango at the US Open, and she's never advanced further than the second round at a Grand Slam in her career. IGA Swiatek US Open history. The 2022 US Open champion, Swiatek has had plenty of success in New York during her career. Last year, she made the quarterfinals before losing, and she's had 4 straight years where she's at least made the fourth round. After winning at Wimbledon and finishing in the semis at Roland Garros and the Australian Open, Swiatek appears primed for another big run at the US Open. Emiliana Arango vs IGA Swiatek, what the odds say and prediction. Based on the latest betting odds, Swiatek has an implied probability of 98.04% to advance to the second round. It would be shocking to see Swiatek get upset, but I do think there is some value in betting the over in total games in this match. Even at Wimbledon and Roland Garros, Swiatek needed more than 16.5 games, 19 and 18, to advance to the second round, and Arango has not gone quietly in her first-round matchups at this year's Grand Slams. She took World No. 16 Daria Kasatkina to 21 games in her loss at Wimbledon, and after winning in the first round of the French Open, she took World No. 8 Q.W Zhang to 17 games in the second round. At plus 110, there's some value on the over on Tuesday morning. The first round of the US Open often brings with it mismatches on paper but drama on court. The 2025 draw has gifted us one such intriguing encounter. Emiliana Arango, the Colombian underdog with flair, courage, and a taste for the big stage, standing across the net from the World No. 1 IGA Swiatek, the 4-time Grand Slam champion and one of the most ruthlessly efficient players the sport has seen in years. At first glance, the narrative seems written. Swiatek, with her suffocating precision and mental steel, should glide through. But the beauty of tennis lies in the gaps between odds and reality, in the flickers of resistance that turn routine matches into contests worth remembering. Who is Emiliana Arango? For the casual fan, Emiliana Arango may not yet be a household name, but in Colombia, she represents promise. At 24, she's climbed steadily through the ranks, making her mark with sharp movement, a knack for redirecting pace, and the willingness to scrap for every point. Her style is built less on raw power and more on counterpunching artistry, using quick feet and consistency to drag opponents into uncomfortable exchanges. Arango's rise has been defined by resilience. Injuries once slowed her progress, but she has rebuilt her game brick by brick, earning her shot at the world stage. To face Swiatek on Ash is not just a match, it's a coronation of hard work, an opportunity to measure herself against the very best. IGA Swiatek, the relentless chess master. Swiatek's reputation precedes her. The Polish star is not only World No. 1 but also a player who dominates in ways that often feel mathematical. Every rally is a calculation, every shot a solution. She suffocates opponents with depth, angles and relentless defense, then flips the script with sudden aggression. In 2022, she conquered New York, proving her game could translate to the fast, noisy hard courts. Since then, she's grown tougher mentally, leaning into her perfectionist streak while learning to handle the circus of expectations. Against Arango, she enters as the overwhelming favorite, odds tilted so far in her favor that anything less than a straight sets win would feel like an upset. The matchup, what each player brings. Arango's strengths, quick movement, consistency, and the ability to extend rallies. She thrives on rhythm and can force opponents to overhit. Against Swiatek, she'll look to absorb power and counterpunch, testing the know.
One's patience.
Arango's weaknesses, limited weapons. She lacks the firepower to hit through Swiatek, and if her serve falters, IGA will feast on second serve returns. Swiatek's strengths, everything.
Depth, control, stamina, mental toughness.
Her return game is arguably the best in women's tennis, and she can turn defense into attack seamlessly. Swiatek's weaknesses, at times, she can grow frustrated if unable to finish points quickly. Players who vary pace and spin can occasionally throw her off rhythm. The key question: can Arango disrupt the Polish machine, or will Swiatek simply smother her under a blanket of relentless precision? Prediction: likely path of the match. The opening games may feel tense. Arango, buoyed by adrenaline and the roar of ash, could start with confidence, chasing every ball and forcing errors. Swiatek, meticulous and cautious in her openers, might test the waters before settling into her groove. But once the match finds rhythm, the gulf in class is likely to show. Swiatek's depth will push Arango behind the baseline, cutting off her angles and forcing her to defend constantly. The Colombian's consistency may allow her to hold a few service games, but over 2 sets, Swiatek's dominance should prevail. If Arango is to steal a set, or even stretch it to a tiebreak, she must gamble, mix in slices, change the pace, come forward unexpectedly, and disrupt IGA's timing. It's a risky strategy, but safety will not win against Swiatek. Prediction: Swiatek in straight sets, something in the realm of 6-3, 6-1.
The odds speak.
Sportsbooks, unsurprisingly, place Swiatek as the overwhelming favorite, with odds hovering around -5,000 or shorter for a win. Arango sits at long shot odds, roughly +1,500 to +2,000, reflecting the enormity of the task before her. Set betting also leans heavily toward a straight sets result for Swiatek. But tennis has a way of humbling predictions. Every underdog dreams of their moment, and for Arango, even a close set could feel like a small victory, a chance to etch her name in the memory of fans who may be seeing her for the first time. The intangible factors. The crowd. New York crowds adore underdogs. If Arango shows fight, stretching rallies, saving breakpoints, the spectators could rally behind her, creating an atmosphere that unsettles even the most experienced players. Swiatek, though composed, has admitted she sometimes feels the noise.